In 2009, the smoking rate in the West stopped falling. It stalled at around 20% of adults. Some thought it would stay at 20%. And then vaping came along, and the smoking rate fell. But total nicotine use remains somewhere near 20%. 1 in 5 adults. There's a growing narrative that all nicotine use is addictive and all nicotine use is bad. I take a different view. I believe that nicotine, delivered safely, is not addictive and has many benefits for the individual and for society as a whole. But first, why do people use nicotine? We know there are medical benefits. It's protective against Parkinson's disease, but people don't use nicotine for long-term medical benefits. We know that nicotine can be pleasant, but there are lots of pleasant things. We chop and change between them. We don't pursue the same pleasure every day for decades. There must be something more. I believe that for some, perhaps 1 in 5, nicotine helps them cope with the pressures of everyday life. We're humans, we're not machines. We respond to pressure differently. For some, everyday life can be very difficult. So if there is something that can help, isn't that a good thing? This is where it gets interesting. The overriding property of nicotine is the absence of a property. Nicotine is not intoxicating. It does not make the user high or stoned or drunk. Just the opposite. It improves focus and motor skills. It makes the user a better driver. Isn't that a good thing? Another effect is relaxation. Isn't that a good thing? The net result is the user gets that little time out to clear the mind and relax, if only momentarily. But that moment can make all the difference. It can make life livable. Nicotine use is concentrated amongst the disadvantaged. Well, surprise, surprise. That's where the pressures of everyday life are at their worst. Mental health problems, poverty, unemployment, poor housing, family breakdown, poor health, the list goes on. Of course people look for help. Not medical help, they're not ill. Not intoxication. Just something to help them cope. Nicotine. It's not addictive, it's not intoxicating, but for perhaps 1 in 5 adults, it helps them cope with the craziness of life. It makes life better. Every time I see someone vaping, I celebrate. They're not smoking, they're just using a mild stimulant that helps them cope and makes life better. We all know what's happening. All those organisations that have been well funded to do something about smoking are pivoting to become anti-nicotine. There's something sickening about people in well-respected jobs cynically twisting information to keep their funding at the expense of those 1 in 5 ordinary people who find nicotine helps them cope. And what if they succeed? What if nicotine becomes highly restricted? The pressures of everyday life won't go away. Those 1 in 5 people will still need something, so they'll look for something else. Alcohol, daytime drinking, oh great. Benzodiazepines, terribly addictive. Antidepressants, street drugs. It doesn't bear thinking about. But that's what the future could hold if policymakers follow the false anti-nicotine narrative. It looks like 1 in 5 of us can benefit from nicotine, and if it makes life better for the individual, it makes life better for those around them, and for society as a whole. Nicotine is a good thing. Once you've got rid of the smoke, it's a positive for the individual and for society. We've got to stop that anti-nicotine narrative. Thanks for watching.